Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I want to talk about CSEC Math. So basically results came out maybe a week or a week and a half ago, right? Now what it seems is that they say that CXC results for maths have improved in the Caribbean. That's what they said, right? They said that the results improved, at least in Jamaica, right? Not the Caribbean, in Jamaica. That's what I read. I don't really know about the Caribbean, but let me talk about Jamaica. So basically, they said that the results for maths have increased, but at the same time, a lot of people still fail the math, and a lot of people is going to have to. A lot of people are going to have to do over maths, right? So I realized that people might not know what their options are, since you know that English and maths are basically mandatory, right? Both English and maths are mandatory. So where do you fall in the mix of all of this, right? So if your results came out and you pass everything else, but you just never get the maths, or maybe you never get the maths on something else, or maybe you never get the maths on English, may I tell you what your options are in today's video, right? So first and foremost, since we need English and maths for everything, the first thing I would say is go back and try and get the maths and English. Or if it's just maths you don't have, try and get the maths. So basically, is either you repeat the grade. If you feel like a lot of your subjects then it's probably best to repeat the grade. Not necessarily at the same school. If you feel like there was something wrong at that high school that you were going to, do not go repeat the same high school again, because something clearly wrong there, right? And if you're sure, say it wasn't like lack of effort on your part, you can switch high schools, right? You graduate, right? So you graduate grade 11, you don't have to go back to the same high school, especially if you see that there was a problem at the high school and the grades them not look good, right? And what I've seen is that sometimes changing the environment can improve your results, right? So because you're literally in high school 5 years with the same setup in them, and sometimes the idleness and sometimes maybe even the teachers or whatever just not in a sense, right? So I would say if you fail a lot, repeat the grade at another high school. That's my advice, or that's basically where I would advise you to do, or advise you to go repeat the grade at another high school, right? Now, if you feel like you want something private, you can also pay and do like private classes. Like you have evening classes, and obviously for those you have to pay a lot more. You can in a high school, public high school in Jamaica, right? You just pay like one school fee, right? Maybe 15,000 most. I mean, I think in high school I charge more than that. Any public high school I charge more than that. Maybe $15,000 so at the start of the school year, right? So if you want something private or you want something more one-on-one, you can pay and do like private classes. Now some evening class still be good. Them still be like, you still going to class with like 20 people, and it's still gonna be a lot, right? But if you feel like you need extra help, you have to go pay for extra help, if you get what I mean. But the first option, repeat the grade. If you feel a lot, repeat the grade at another high school. If you're not that bad and just the maths you want, or just the English you want, or whatever, then I would say do go and do like an evening class, right? Instead of just the one subject that you need. No, the reason I'm saying this is because if you don't have English and you don't have maths, it kind of stop you in your tracks a lot, if you get what I mean, right? Now, some universities, if your plan is to go to university, some universities actually have like a pathway. Like, if you have English, they have a pathway for the maths for you to get in, or maybe you have maths and have the English, right? Some universities have that, but my advice is to have either the English or the maths. But you cannot say, go to college and have either one of them. It does not work out, right? Now, some colleges, they have some pathways to different whatever, right? So you have to research that, right? Say, okay, what are my options now? You may not have the maths. What am I going to do next? This school can take you out the maths and make you do like a year of maths. So you can look into that and say, oh, you know, I'm going to do the year of maths at that school and left the CSEC maths if they're willing to take you, right? So you can try and do that. Or you repeat the grade, or you start the evening class with the maths, basically, right? And when I do the evening class with the maths, we cannot forget about heart. So basically, heart trust. Everybody know heart trust, or heart insta, whatever them change them name to. But basically, heart is also really good, because while you're getting the maths, you can be getting certified in a skill. Like if you're good at something, you can go and get certified, if you did do electrical in high school, yes, me ain't never have it in a heart, you could have go do it now. You can take the year, go heart, and I do your maths at that evening class at the same time, right? Or if you want commercial chef, whatever, you can go do level 2 or level 1 and work your way up. If you want like early childhood, you can go do early childhood, like literally, while I do the maths. So don't feel like everything pause, everything stopping at the tracks, right? So basically, when you don't have the maths, the door halfway closed, so you cannot sit down and farm fully yourself. But some people, if them don't have the maths, they just give up and say, I can't bother, whatever. Or if you want go to the evening class and work, if your plan is, for example, to go to college or something like that, you can go to evening class and also work and say, right, me try to save up for pay for college, because I know me I get the maths this time, right? So that's also another option. So don't feel like the door is closed, because some people just give up and so they can't bother, then it's over with it, right? But it's not. You have options. And also, if you feel like it's really just a buck up situation where you never pass, guess what? In January, they have resits. They literally have resits in January. So if you do the exam in May, June, or just gone, and you feel like, I can do it, and you want to register for January, you can do it. If you know your SBA was good, you can use that SBA and sit that exam again in January. You know that, right? So don't sit and form a full research the schools and see what they take. Don't forget about Heart, because Heart is also a good school. You can take that year and do over the maths, I go to the evening class with the maths, while also getting certified in probably even more than one something, right? And me think, I don't want to say anything wrong or quote anything wrong, but this is something like the government make some hard courses free or something like that. But you have to research it and see what is what, right? But Heart is also a good option, right? Just for now, just for don't waste that time, you know what I mean? So while you're there, doing the maths or doing the English or doing both, and you have your other subject them ready and put on, you can go on the Heart to get certified in a skill. Let's just say if you plan and if you get in a teacher's college or something, but you don't have a maths or whatever, you don't have English, I don't know what the case may be, and you can go do early childhood a Heart, and then you can just, when you get the maths or you get the English, whatever you never did have, you can go over and just start the program at that time. But basically, don't just throw in the towel and just give up and say you can't bother, and then farm full yourself, right? Research your options. So some people, they don't know what their options are, and that's why they make a fool of themselves, them farm fool, because it's not the end of the world. Even before the CSEC results came out, I made a video saying that it's really not the end of the world. You wake up this morning and you still breathe, you're still alive, you still have a life, right? So just because you feel it is not the end of the world, don't give up and farm a fool yourself. So repeat the high school if you think you would like to do that, or you go to an evening class, or pay for private classes if you have your money. Try and do Heart while you go to the evening class, just to don't waste no time. Or you can go and work. So you can go and literally work while you're doing the evening class with the maths. And nowadays everything online, so make sure you can find at least one class that is online. At least one class, because literally everything online now. From COVID come and gone, most CSEC classes online, like evening classes, right? Some of them still keep in person, but make sure a school, or at least some schools, are gonna still have the option of online, because we move away from the in-person and most things online. So if you tell me, see, I can't find one class online, that you're crazy, right? Classes are online, so you can also try and get into a class that is online, or find a school that get the option for do your class online, right? So if it's a case where you're busy or you're at work too and you try to juggle it, and you don't want to out, let's just say the evening class at 5 o'clock, you don't want to depend on the road until 7 or 8 o'clock, I do no class. So you can say, oh, let me find a class that I'm going to start 5 o'clock, but it's online, we can do it from yard, right? And you just have to reflect and say, okay, what did I do wrong the last time? So basically, if you say, all right, I just never did understand the concepts in a maths, then they can say, okay, or you can say, oh, I never did practice enough, right? Like, I kind of did know, but I never know at the same time. So that is that. And also practice the past papers for the CSEC maths. So don't just look through the textbook, don't just look through the notes or whatever and think whatever. Because you know, see them out, so the teacher put the easier question on the board. And when they go in an exam, then twist around the question left, right, and center, right? Them twist it around left, right, and center. So look at the questions that actually are on the past papers, like the past paper 2s for maths. look upon them, attempt to work them by yourself, and before exam come around again, try and get someone to check your answers. Because guess what? The same question I'm going to see. You're going to see something very, very similar to what you're seeing on those past papers, right? And it's literally the same format. The paper is the same format, right? So just ensure that you can answer at least half of that CSEC maths paper too, right? And what I always tell people say is do not leave the paper blank. Or if a rubbish, write the rubbish on the paper, right? And we know say CSEC maths is a very stressful subject. Because I tell you, I don't know how I pass either. But still, it's a very stressful subject. So that is why you have to go in there with a plan. So you experience it and you know you stay the first time. When you go into this time, you try to maximize points on the paper one. And you try to answer as many questions as you can. And if you know so you can do matrices and vectors and whatever else on the paper and the geometry stuff, then you have to go work on those in this year. And listen to me, I feel like sometimes so people doubt themselves because when I do CSEC maths, honestly, the day I left exam, I said to myself, you know, so I feel this. I don't know if not one I write on the paper, right? But guess what? I'm glad I did write it. Because guess what? They actually give you marks for the step. So let's just say you write a formula and you start off good. But let's just say something go wrong somewhere down in the working out and you miss something. They can still give you 1 or 2 mark. And if you get 1 or 2 mark on all of the 5 mark question them or whatever, I still marks add up. So some people will just say, oh, you're wrong and cross out here, and then what is there? When the people them get the paper, what is there to mark, right? So you literally set yourself out. But basically, those are your options if you fail CSEC maths, right? So don't give up. You have evening class, you can repeat the grade, you can go to heart, you can go work. You have many options. You can try to find a university or college that have a year, allow you to do a year of maths, or a university or a college that is going to allow you to do the maths while they admit you, right? So just research, and see your options, but don't just sit down and farm a fool yourself. Don't spin around and twirl and waste time, basically, right? So that's basically what your options are after if you fail CSEC maths, basically, right? But anyways, this is just my little video trying to guide people into the right direction, to not sit on a yard, don't waste time this year if they fail CSEC maths. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So like, comment, share, and subscribe.